Good morning once again, ladies and gentlemen, and all protocol observed. My name is Forever Young, and I'm ready this week with Brother Dixon.
Before you call me,
say to Okay, so officially we have started the program, and the next on my list is a welcome address. Next on my list is a welcome address. So, Charles Ayoka is here. Charles Ayoka is here.
Good afternoon. Charles Ayoka is the National President for the Christian High School Graduates Association. So you'll be here to give the opening address. That is to tell us why we are here this morning and why we have been with you to give your purposes to this auditorium this very morning. So please, once again, put your hands together for him as we call on him. Until he holds the microphone. Thank you.
Good morning to everyone. Thank you for having me this morning. Today is a great day, and I am honored to have this opportunity to stand in front of you as your brother. Before we proceed to the main agenda for the day, I would like us to do something very quick before we proceed. Okay. When I say free S.H.S, then you respond by saying Nanamba. Okay. We all know that this free S.H.S policy was being introduced by His Excellency Nana Akufo-Addo. And then anything that surrounds about this special project, you can't take his name away out of it. So we need to acknowledge him. And then the reason why we decided to use that particular slogan is because even when the president is no more, he's not at the point. Even when he's not president anymore, his name should still be in our good books as the president and as the person who introduced this special initiative. So we decided to use that in a number. So when we say free S.H.S, then we say Nanamba. So let me hear from you. Free S.H.S. Free S.H.S. There is another one of which I want us to add. When I say free S.H.S, the second one, then we say protecting the future of Ghana. Okay? Protecting the future of Ghana through education. Protecting the future of Ghana through education. So let us go over it again. Free S.H.S. Free S.H.S. Thank you very much. Put your hands together for yourselves. Thank you. Today's theme is unlocking opportunities through free S.H.S for better tomorrow, for brighter tomorrow. Someone will ask, why are we having this special program? Alright. I have some special people here that I will acknowledge them before I proceed to the agenda of the day. Mr. Chair, the Minister of Education, although he's not around yet, but it's still very important to acknowledge him. My own boss and father, National Coordinator for Free S.H.S, Mr. Dapan Williams. Thank you for having me today. My own boss, Director General for TVET. Thank you for having me as well. And I will say my very boss, Mr. Richard Apiakuni. We also have him in our midst. Boss, you're welcome. We also have our regional coordinator, who is my immediate boss, Mr. Ruby. Boss, you are welcome. Alright. Let's proceed. Today, as we've gathered here to celebrate a revolutionary policy that has transformed the educational landscape of our beloved country. Free S.H.S in the high school. In 2017, President Nana Akufo-Addo launched the Free S.H.S policy, a bold initiative aimed at providing accessible, equitable, and quality education to all Ghanaians. This visionary policy has bridged the gap between the privileged and the underprivileged, empowering millions of youth within this country. Standing here today, I am filled with a lot of reflections on the incredible journey that has been through together. From overcoming challenges to celebrating triumphs and it being a remarkable. I am a child. I've been like you before. And I would like to use my own story here. When I was a student from a very small village in somewhere in Guma, I had no hope that one day I was able to become S.H.S graduates. But today, through this initiative, Free S.H.S, I am standing here before you. And it is the main reason why we decided to organize this nice program. To take some of you through for you to really understand the importance of Free S.H.S and then the need for us to protect it for our younger generations and the more generations to come. There is most of it here that I would say on record that probably it would have been very difficult for us to even think of entering to senior high school. But through His Excellency Nana Akufo-Addo, today we have 5.7 million beneficiaries under this particular project. So I want us to put our hands together for our own father, His Excellency Nana Akufo-Addo, and our own minister, Dr. S.H.S, for putting something like this together for us. Thank you. And it is not only this. Just recently, I attended a program at Accra, Innovation. And I was so excited to see my younger generation, my younger citizens, coming up with new ideas, new inventions that can be most of the developed countries they use to transform their countries. Some of them doing dialysis invention, some of them building from the scratch. These are some of the things that we want to see as a country in our education sector. Not just reading, chewing, and poor. Not just learning for exam's sake. Today, all right, let us put our hands together for our honorable minister, our old father. Let us do our feet. Yeah, thank you. Another one of applause for him for joining us. Thank you. Please come to the seat. So as we gathered here today, we are here to let you guys know that there is hope. There is life after Free S.H.S. And this very government didn't just introduce Free S.H.S. There are so many tangible components, important components that have added to this particular initiative that we all know after S.H.S. You wouldn't be running after companies seeking for employment. But they've added something very important, as I mentioned earlier, which is the ticket. STEM innovation. Today we have some of our students sewing a very nice cloth, fashion, and this is what we use to develop the country. Some of you will even think of, after S.H.S, what next? There are so many opportunities out there for you. But I always tell myself, the difference between a poor man and then a rich man is information. So once we are able to get you the right information at the right time, there wouldn't be difference between you and someone calling him or herself a TV. Because it's all information. Now there are so many scholarships out there that majority of you here might not have even heard of it. The likes of GHANAIAN, the likes of GetFund, the likes of S.H.S, Ghana Scholarship, Master Foundation, Mastercard Foundation is there. All these things, you might not be aware of it. And we want to be that link between you and these opportunities. The association wants to be the link between you and the opportunities out there. The association wants to bridge that gap between you and the information out there, so that after S.H.S, you will know that yes, I enjoy free S.H.S. But there are still some initiatives ahead of me that will support me to be able to further my education to the tertiary, to whatever that you want to do in life. And these are some of the things that we are calling for as a country. But before all these things were able to come to reality, I stated earlier that now we have 5.7 million graduates and beneficiaries that has benefited under this policy. What are we doing to ensure that this policy and its continuity is very clear to our heart? We can't entrust free S.H.S to someone who doesn't believe in possibilities. We can't entrust free S.H.S to someone who doesn't believe that a young guy from a typical village can become like someone or a daughter to our own leaders in this country. There should be a hope for someone who stays in Asakata. There should be a hope for someone who stays in somewhere in the Kuna. There should be a hope for someone who stays somewhere in the northern region. That equality must work in this country. And that's exactly what this government is doing. They are giving us all these opportunities. So in order to be able to do all these things, let us try to protect free S.H.S for our younger generation. You might be here thinking that, okay, my father is well-to-do, I am well-to-do, I will be able to do food for my bills and all that. But ask yourself, your friend who is sitting beside you, if there is no free S.H.S, that person is able to enjoy free S.H.S, and there's answer may be no. And there is a saying that when our enemies, the communists will say that when our enemies came for us, there were no one to speak on our behalf. When they came for the socialists, there were no one to speak on their behalf. And when they came for you, there were no one to speak for you. This is the right time for us to stand to protect this very policy for the next generation to also come and enjoy. Today, you are enjoying free S.H.S because of what someone did in 2017 that were able to give birth to free S.H.S. That's why you are enjoying free S.H.S today. And there will be a need for you to do so to ensure that after December of this very year, there will still be something and hope for the younger generations. There will still be hope for someone who's now coming from very far, someone who has not even seen the light before, someone who doesn't even know something that we call a mobile phone, someone who doesn't know something that we call TikTok, someone who doesn't know anything about quality life, there should be a home for such a person. And it is one of the reasons why we are here today. And we, Graduates Association, ensure that the 57 million people that has undergone through this very policy, we will protect this policy. And we will ensure that our younger generations yet unborn will also come and enjoy this particular policy. So as we all sitting here today, I want you to turn and then face your friend and tell him that let's protect this policy. Say that to your friend. Yes. It's very important. So I won't waste much time. I will land somewhere here, and then I will let some of the resource people and then prominent people that we have in our midst come and also take the podium, and then we proceed with the program. But one push for Parliament to pass free S.H.S bill, so that irrespective of any person that will be in government, there will continue to be a continuity of this very policy. So we call on all stakeholders to join us with us, whilst we are pushing for that particular thing. So that, as I stated earlier, because it's the only instrument that will continue to protect the policy when we are no more. That's when the Parliament passed that particular bill. So, listen, thank you very much for having your attention, and then thank you very much for coming. I will leave and then I'll leave the rest of the MC for us to continue. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, Charles. Ayo, or you can do much better than this. Okay, so along the slogan, he said, when we say free S.H.S, how do you respond? Oh, I can't feel the vibe. Free S.H.S. Free S.H.S.
We need the energy. Okay, let's go again.
Free S.H.S. Free S.H.S.
Okay, I think we have been enlightened on why we are here this morning, and so without wasting much time, we call on the Free S.H.S National Director, Mr. William Dafa, to give us his address. And so please put your hands together for giving us. Like I said, I think we take the microphone, we don't talk about it. Oh, you can do better.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. The Honorable Deputy Minister of Education, MP for Kwadaso constituency, Professor Regional Director for Team and Service, Ashanti Regional Free S.H.S Coordinator, Free S.H.S Headquarters Operations Manager, Mr. Akiyakumi, President of the Free S.H.S Graduates Association, media, members of the media present, Nanama, all Nanama here, Free S.H.S. Good. All protocols observed. Today I will share with you some key objectives when we start our Free S.H.S. The three main objectives that I've shared with you, they are very simple. During when Anando's vision came about, three main objectives that he set for us.
make sure there is no child left behind. What that means is we need to improve the access. We should not leave any Ghanaian child who is qualified behind instead of letting them go to secondary school. The second is make sure the quality of education that they get is better than before. The third, then he said, make sure there is equity in the system. In other words, there's equity and there's gender equity in the system. Some time ago, when parents have to pay to go to school, they have to make a choice. If a parent doesn't have enough and they have a boy or a girl, most of the time, in our culture, they will choose the boys to go to school and leave the girls behind. Free S.H.S, one of the main pillars was to make sure there is gender equity. And I'll show you the numbers. The girls are getting more than the boys now. Wonderful achievement. So, the first one I'll show you is access. If you look at the green part of the graph, those were the number of students, CSS that were admitted every year. The 2014 to 2016, those were the numbers. Free S.H.S, as you all know, started in 2017. Look at what happened to the number. It jumped from 308 to 362,000. Huge improvement of about 60,000 more students that we added to our secondary education. Now, compare 2016 to now. Just last year, we had go back please. Just like 2023, we had 505,000. Even the final number is even more than this. Final number was 507,489. From 2016, that was 308,000 to now what Free S.H.S has done. Adding almost about 200,000 more students getting secondary education. This is what we call no child left behind. This is what we call any child at the secondary school age that qualifies to go to secondary school actually has a space to go to school. So this is a result of the Free S.H.S. Just like you all got to experience S.H.S, many more students now are enjoying free education. This is because of GHANAIAN's vision of making sure there was no child left behind. Now let's move on to the next, which is slide 6. The gender parity. This graph will tell you 2015, 2016, the gender parity was 93%. In layman's terms, that year, if we had 100 boys that were going to school, 93 of them, 93 girls were going to school. I'll just summarize it like that. There is more into gender index explanation I can give, but that's the simplest form I can say it. And now look at it, 2022, 2023. It's 106%. What that means is there are more girls in schools than boys. The objective was to get gender parity, which means we want the same number of boys, given their age group percentage, to go to school as the girls. And now we are over 100%, which means there are more girls percentage of the age group that goes to school than boys. So we have achieved the gender parity and even surpassed. Now, the last objective I will talk about is quality. Somebody will say, you've increased the enrollment. You've taken it from 308 all the way to 507,000, 505,000. What is the quality of education that you are giving to these kids? Is it better or is it worse? And we are measuring this quality based on the percentage of graduates, WASC scores, during the free SH era versus before the free SH era. What percentage of those graduating and doing A1 to C6 passing to go to universities? What percentage are passing before free SHS and what percentage is passing now that we introduce free SHS? Look at it. If you look at the English language, 2015, 45.2%, 2023, 73.11%. That are actually passing the WASC A1 to C6. If you look at science, integrated science, 28.7% 2015. 2016 was 48.35% before free SHS. Look at it now, 66.82%. If you look at drop down to social studies and mathematics, compare 2016 to 2023. What is very interesting though is, starting from 2017, 2020, so free SHS 2017, they graduated when? 2020, I think. And if you look at that, from that year going forward, there is not even a single subject in a single year that was below 50% of the students passing A1 to C6. This is what we call quality. This is what we call the vision of Ronaldo coming to reality. Even though a lot more people made it to the school, he left no child behind, but at the same time, he ensured that there's quality education coming out of the secondary schools. I will not talk too much, the numbers show themselves. How well the quality of education has been. Now, we've come to a point where I heard the president talk about the bill that is in Parliament and we are going to pass. Now, I believe that bill is going to pass because you know what? The people before the bill that we're talking about, free SHS 419. Now they've all come around to say free SHS is here to stay. So I have no fears that bill is going to be passed because now, if nothing done, we have consensus among the political parties that free SHS is here to stay. Now, the same person who said free SHS to stay, and that when he comes, he will make sure the president still goes on. That same person is saying, when he comes in, he will immediately abolish double track. Immediately abolish double track. Let me tell you, double track was implemented because of the initial draft I showed you. You have students in our schools from 308 all the way to when double track was implemented was 2018. From 308,000 students to 432,000 students. That's a huge jump. The country has never expected that. We have to implement double track to make sure every student gets a space in our schools. That was the reason why. Look at 2018. The number is huge compared to 2016. That's the reason why we implemented double track. So as to get all the students in the schools using the same infrastructure to 8 years, or 5 to 7 years, to be able to build enough infrastructure so we can absorb and return back to where we used to. That is done all over the world. Anybody who doesn't understand it should go to the United States. They do the same thing. Okay? So, look at from 308 and now we are in 507 students coming in. 507, that's a lot of students. Even though in your respective schools, I'm sure you can show evidence that there's some kind of infrastructure that has been built since 2017. Okay? But because of the increase of the number of students who want to get into schools, some schools are still doing, even though after 7 years, some schools are still doing double track. Because as we build infrastructure, we are not able to catch up in certain schools. But most of the schools have returned back to single track. But some schools still need additional infrastructure to be able to take more students as the enrollments go up. Now, if you say when you come in, you immediately stop double track. Let me tell you what that means. What that means is schools like Prepper College this year, and the president is coming up, will not be able to take in a single first year student. Is that what we want? Is that what we want? That a school like Prepper College will not be able to take any first year student because we are abolishing double track. That is what is going to happen. If the president says when he comes, 3 seconds will stay, but you will abolish double track. All I am saying is, when I come the first year, I will not allow any Ghanaian students to enter schools like Kumasi Girls, schools like OAS, schools like Pepe, Kuhis, Las Antuas, and Monikas. A lot of the schools that are doing double track now will not be able to take Form 1 students. So, it's your choice. I understand you are all first time voters. It's your choice. What you have enjoyed in the top schools, what you have enjoyed in your schools. Somebody says when they come, they will continue free S.H.S. But at the same time, abolish double track. Let me tell you what that means. That means you will be the only free S.H.S. people. And I'm not going forward. Because there will be only a few people entering the first year in certain key schools that we need our kids to go to. So we need to be balanced. Even though we spend 7 years, we make sure that in the interest of our students, in going to some of the top schools that we want them to go to, there are certain schools that are still doing double track. That's why we can accommodate them. Now, this same person who said now free S.H.S is here to stay. Also, one time ago, said this is a vision or a whimsical idea of a desperate politician. That's what he said about the person who brought the vision. So now, if he says free S.H.S is here to stay, then who is the desperate politician now? We all know. How can I say his name? But as you go to the polls, you need to have all this in mind to understand that free S.H.S came to give you an opportunity. You also have to think of your brothers and sisters behind you, who is going to continue to give them that opportunity. Who should I vote for? Who should I select? So that the student behind me will get the same opportunities as I got. Okay? I won't speak for too long, and I will thank you all for coming in and listening to us in this program. Thank you all very much, and as time goes,
can do much better than this. I love what he said, remember, free S.H.S came to give you an opportunity. So if you don't want your brothers and sisters who are also coming to use this opportunity, then it's never said do not need to. Thank you all and all. Free S.H.S. Free S.H.S. Okay, thank you. The program still continues. We'll be having a performance. If we're taking a performance, that's a talking word for Emmanuel. Emmanuel and Selassie. If you are here, join me on stage. Emmanuel. If I get the name right. Emanuela, sorry. Emanuela and Isabella. Oh, come on. A hand of applause as they come to the stage. Emanuela and Isabella. Thank you.
Good day, all principals being represented. We are here to deliver a spoken word on free S.H.S. You know that Ghanaian history of education began with the mulattoes. It then was included the royals. That is where class section was established. They were all males. They then saw the essence of the adage, and I quote, when you educate a man, you educate an individual. But if you educate a woman, you educate a whole nation, or quote. That is where they saw and education became inclusive for the females. Government kept changing, both good and bad. Democracy and autocracy came until 1992. The Constitution was made. In the Constitution, it was written boldly that education should be free from the beginning to the tertiary level. This is where the free S.H.S began.
Shining bright, igniting light, once education was action, and this man's slowly spreading, struggling to go far. But now the walls of learning stand open wide. Every child has the chance, no longer denied. Young minds eager to learn, understand, and cook with it. From rural villages to bustling towns, knowledge flows freely. No one drowns. Do you know why? It's because it's more than just a number, more than just fees. It's more about potential in the future. Quality education, that is what they promised us. They promised inclusive education, where women, disabled, and even the poor. It saved our parents from the thrive and strive of selling their garments. It included the poor, the rich. Equality was what assured. It brought a smile on every student. Children became bold of themselves and defended themselves and was able to tell people who they are. This gave life to the SQ. That was a free compulsory basic education. Let us embrace free education because it has come to live. They didn't establish this to encourage the youth to break violence. A generation empowered, brave, and bold. But with this gift comes responsibility to cherish the chance, to foster humility, to lift up everybody, and then for in unity lies strength like no other. So Here is to the youth, the torchbearers for change, with dreams in their hearts, ready for rearrange. It saddens my heart when I hear that free SHS is going to drain the country. It's not like that. Let us nurture the spirit. Let us champion the cause, for every strong dreamer deserves an applause in this journey of learning. Let us stand together, united and strong, so that we can uplift this free SHS. People thought it wouldn't be possible, but the rebellions forgot this came to help a million. This policy became a life-changing legacy. Apart from, do you remember the old days when we used to remember, we used to chew poor and forget, when we teach you on the board, mental slavery. This thing came to emancipate us from mental slavery. Now we have people with their handicrafts. Now we have people who can defend themselves. Now we have people who can stand by themselves. Now we are almost independent. Let us embrace free SHS. Let us not push it away. Let us embrace it, I say once again. Thank you.
Thank you. Let all embrace free SHS. Oh, come on, show us some love. We can go much better than this. Free SHS. The energy is down. Free SHS. Okay, listen, let's go.
Okay, so thank you, Isabella and Emanuela, for the spoken word. It's very inspiring. It is true, and indeed we have to maintain and sustain the free senior high school education policy. Now, there is one thing that I always say, and it goes: if we have not inherited this land from our forebears, we have rather borrowed it from our children. And so it is up to us to protect whatever that is good for the next generation. As we are playing with you, 7th December, please go to the polls and make the right decision by voting number 1 for Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia to be our next president, so we can sustain this policy for the next generation. Alright, and so we've had an address from the National Director, and so we move straight to transformation there. We've spoken about technology, agriculture, and a lot of things. And so, like I said, or I asked the question earlier, that where do you see the country in some years to come? That is some of the transformations we will be making. And so we will take an address from Tibet, and to do as the honors is Mr. Richard Abujevi, who is the regional director for Tibet and the representative for the Director General in this August moment. And so please put your hands together for him as he comes on stage. You can do it better.
Good afternoon to everyone. Honorable Professor Kinsley Nyako, MP for Kwadasu, Minister for Education in charge of Thinkers, National Coordinator